The Springfield Technical Community College dental assistant and dental hygiene programs are currently offering free dental cleaning for those without access to dental care.
Western Mass News reporter Taylor Smith swung by the clinic to see how students are also benefiting from this program.
I mean, everybody likes getting their teeth cleaned. It's almost like a manicure, but for your mouth.
The Springfield Technical Community College Dental Hygiene Clinic is now accepting appointments for free teeth cleaning and preventative care for children and adults through March 29th. Darlene O'Brien, who is a professor and clinical coordinator for the Dental Hygiene Department, tells Western Mass News how the clinic serves as both hands-on training and education for students, as well as helping to serve patients who don't have access to dental care.
It's an excellent opportunity for people who may not have access to dental care to come in and have their teeth cleaned, receive dental checkup, x-rays, a dental exam, a fluoride treatment, and it really serves a dual purpose because our senior students in particular have to see a substantial amount of patients in order to practice their skills and complete the competencies they need to graduate.
Senior dental hygienist student Lucas Obert is currently wrapping up. He tells us how this experience has been for him.
I feel like that's all my life now is just talking about teeth nonstop. But we're almost at the end. We're super grateful for everybody who comes in. I feel like there's a big stigma about people and their teeth, but a lot of our patients haven't been seen since COVID.
Students must acquire 30 patients to pass the class in order to graduate. Obert is halfway to his mark and appreciates all who attend this event.
So far I have 15, so come on in. I'd love to clean your teeth.
And this program is available for people of all ages. We'll have more information on how to sign up at westernmassnews.com. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Taylor Smith, Western Mass News.
STCC officials say the school offers 2 dental programs, dental assisting, which is a 1-year program, and dental hygiene, which is a 2-year program. And they say they will begin enrolling 2 dental assistant classes each year to help close the workforce gap. The current application deadline for those interested is April 30th.